Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the capital city of America. When I was young, I used to think that Los Angeles was the capital city of America. Actually, I thought it was Chicago. I also thought it was supposed to be Miami or San Francisco. Even today, I still think that these cities, the famous cities of United States, one of them should be the capital city of America. But I will tell you the reason why these cities are not the capital city of USA. This is Washington, D.C., or in long form is Washington District of Columbia, what most people just call the D.C. This is what Americans will call the nation's capital. So in this video, I'm going to cover Washington, D.C. I'm going to talk about the tourist areas that you might want to visit if you get a chance to come here. So most people think that Washington, D.C. is in Maryland or is in Virginia. No, neither of those answers are true. Washington, D.C. is not in any state, nor is it a state. It is simply a federal district. We're going to talk about that more once we get there. The President of the United States, the United States Congress, the United States Supreme Court, and many major national government offices are in this territory. This makes it the political center of the United States of America. So, if it's not a state, and it's not in a state, so what is Washington, D.C.? It is a federal district that was created from land originally donated by Maryland and Virginia. That was in 1790. So in 1790, the nation wanted to build a capital, and they decided, so where are we going to build a capital? So Maryland and Virginia donated, right, land where Washington, D.C. is, and it's not owned by any state. So why is it not owned by any state? The reason it's not owned by any state is to avoid giving too much power to any single state, or for one state or for any state to have undue influence to Washington D.C. So there's no one state that have more power over Washington D.C. Not because none of the states actually own Washington D.C. All right, so there's no state that has more power over Washington D.C. So does Washington D.C. now direct itself, govern itself? No, actually, this is what it says. It is a separate, self-governing district under the direct jurisdiction of the U.S. Congress, meaning it's not part of any state. So it is directed by the U.S. Congress, right? Nobody else. All right, so at least I've cleared that away, right? Also, the second confusion, Washington, D.C. is not in Washington State. Also, those are two different things. Washington State is where you hear the popular city Seattle. That is in Washington State. And it is over 2,000 miles away from Washington, D.C. Hope we're clear on that now. All right? So don't mix the two. Washington, D.C. and Washington State. Those are two different things. One is so far away from the other. All right, so this beautiful district is where the United States government is located. In fact, the White House is located here. The US Capitol Hill, you have seen it. It's located here. So let's look into something else. Superpower. Is the United States superpower or is it China? Because I have had this debate so many times. These are the facts. United States is the superpower. So why? The population of United States is 350 million versus China 1.5 billion people. But if you look at the GDP, the nominal GDP in 2025 for the US is 31 trillion, while China is approximately 19 trillion. That is so much over China. Looking at the sources, the United States is currently considered the world's primary superpower due to its military and economic advantages, though China is a major global power with rapid growth, particularly in economic influence, and is viewed by some as a future superpower. But we're not talking about future superpower, we're talking about currently. So currently, it's agreed throughout the world that United States is the superpower. The US has the world's most powerful military with a much higher defense budget, and that's what counts. It's how much resources do you have before you run out in the case of war, right? And also, its economy is the largest with a significantly higher GDP per capita. However, China has the world's second largest economy by nominal GDP and is projected by some forecasters to surpass the US in the future. But that will only happen if United States is just sitting ducks. But United States never rests. So these people are always innovative and doing things. If you think about the military, the US military is widely considered the world's most powerful and technologically advanced, with a budget far exceeding any other nations. Its total stock of modern military equipment is valued at many times than that of China's. I mean, that's just enough to tell you who is the superpower. But also, I want to give you what my piece is. What I think about it is like this. So United States has 31 trillion in GDP divided by 343 million people equals to 85,000 in GDP per capita. Now compared to China, 19 trillion divided by 1.5 billion people, which is equals to $13,000 GDP per capita. So if you think about it, wealth in America is evenly distributed than it is in China because they have almost the same GDP, but US has exceeds the GDP of China by 12 trillion. And 12 trillion, if you think about it, the entire GDP of the African continent, all 53 countries, is 2.83 trillion. And the GDP difference between China and US is 12 trillion. Woo, do the math. 12 trillion difference. So speaking about China, right? So it's very difficult for you not to speak about China and United States once you get to DC. As you can see, it speaks for itself. Anyway, so let's look at some Washington DC tourist-friendly locations. Just tourist-friendly places that you can visit. One of them is, first of all, did you know that Washington DC museums are completely free? Smithsonian museums, which include space, natural history, African American history and culture, American history, and more, all of those do not charge anything for entry. Also, if you are interested to go to US Capitol and the White House, you have to book ahead of time, right? And White House tours must be requested through a member of Congress or an embassy. All right. So if you're a foreigner, embassy. If you are a US citizen, through your member of Congress. All right. The National Gallery of Art has one of the largest art collections in the country. The DC Metro is one of the cleanest subway systems in the US. The National Mall is nearly 2 miles long, and you should, in fact, go to the National Mall. It is definitely worth your time. Walking from the Capitol to Lincoln Memorial can take up to 30 to 40 minutes. There are more than 176 foreign embassies located in Washington, D.C., or in Massachusetts Avenue. It's one of the most international streets in America. You can visit places like the Tidal Basin, which is man-made. You can visit places like the Lincoln Memorial, which is open 24/7. The Library of Congress lets visitors see the world's largest book collection. Right? You can even view Jefferson's original library. The Supreme Court is open to the public. You can go when it's in session, and you can just sit down. It's fast come, fast served basis. DC has no skyscrapers. There is no building. Right? A building height low keeps the skyline low, giving the city a unique look. The Rock Creek Park is one of the largest urban parks in the country. All right. The DC has a huge and diverse food scene. Ethiopian, Salvadoran, Afghanistan, Caribbean, East African, and gourmet restaurants are everywhere. All right. Fun fact: DC's official food is the half smoke. A local spicy sausage. Halfly smoked local spicy sausage. That is the official food of District of Columbia. No one, anyway. All right, so I'm gonna go to the White House to visit the White House. I came very early in the morning, 5:30 a.m. and I'm gonna try to see the White House at this particular time. And I'm gonna have the view from front for the most part, and we'll go from there.
Quick question, is this the front?
So this is, people say yeah, it's the front, because
Does it look the same on the other side?
it's a lot farther away.
Uh,
But, no, I mean, not really.
Yeah, because that's the one that they were trying to make us like walk to because we couldn't pull in.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's open or not. It might be closed.
Oh, okay.
How you doing?
Why did I think it was bigger?
I know. I thought it was like, I was thinking about something massive that I can't see end to end, but it just looks like
They were saying it's well, there's like 140 something rooms,
yeah.
but it looks so small.
That's why I want to see like a different angle, because I think this angle here is it makes it too small.
It's a smaller side.
Yeah. I didn't think I would see end to end. Like I thought it was something so massive, but it looks very small. What side is this? This is the southern side? No, this is the east side. I'm telling you, I don't believe this is the front side actually, to be honest.
This is where the address is. it. That's a long walk.
It's a long walk.
Yeah. This is where we are. There. Eisenhower Executive Office Building.
Wow, it's bigger than the White House. This should be the White House. No, it's actually magnificent. If this was the White House, everybody would fear America.
Well, it says the White House goes all the way across. Like it's an attachment of the building.
It's so big. This should be the White House. If I was the president, I would declare this from now on. This is where I live. Better clear all these offices and make a bedroom for me. Yeah, I found a better way to do a video, like a better setting.
Hmm.
Oh man, I forgot about it. This should be the White House. This is still in the thunder of the White House. Like, look at it. Why is this not the White House? And
It has so
it's
much
wide.
detail back then.
It is big. It's more beautiful than the White House. It has more like details. Like it's massive. Like it looks like a king's house. Right?
Just imagine getting someone to clean it.
Well, someone cleans it. So let's ask this guy what they do in this building. Pass holders. Excuse me, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
I have a question. What do they do in this house?
What building?
Yeah, this
So
building.
this is all offices of the president's staff. This is called the Eisenhower Executive Office Building. It's all
Oh.
the offices.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it outshines the White House.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this should be the White House.
How about it? So, originally, when they built the White House, it was supposed to be 4 times bigger than what it currently is. They didn't want it to look like a castle because we had just beat England in the war. So they didn't want it to look like a king. So they made it that size because at the time this was actually the biggest house in the country.
Right.
Prior to the Civil War, the White House, and this was built in 1888, but the White House, being built it was finished in 1800.
Right.
In 1800, it was actually the biggest residential house.
Oh,
in the country.
that time, right.
Yeah, after the Civil War, people started building mansions and stuff.
Right, and
both
then
of
they-
those
oh.
But it's 55,000 square feet. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, that's why.
Nowadays, it looks tiny. And you're looking at this on this side.
Yeah, look at that
This
side.
is a
Oh.
whole level too. The hill, where the hill goes up.
Right.
Go to the back side, it's actually 3 stories. On that side, the front side's only 2
Yeah.
stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on that side and I'm like, you know what? This should be the White House.
I'll
man.
go- I'll go and
It
check
makes-
that,
It makes the White
my
House look
resume.
like a regular
See what I-
house, like a tiny. Thank you.
So this was built to shield the White House from the city, basically. This big
Oh.
building is here, and the Treasury too. They're built to protect the house on either side from the rest of the city. Yep.
That makes sense then.
Yeah, that's why it's so big. Yeah. 5 football fields of office space in here.
Wow.
5 football fields. Yeah. Over 600 rooms. Yep. It's crazy. Yeah, it took them 17 years to build this.
17 years?
17 years, 1871 to 1888. Yeah, it's all granite too. That's carved granite. They actually carved here on site. Yeah, it's French Gothic revival.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone had a lot of time on their
What
hands.
do I have to do to work here?
To work here, you actually apply online, whitehouse.gov, to be part of the president's staff. Yeah. No, seriously, yeah, it is. It's like an open invitation. Yeah, they let people apply for certain jobs. And,
Do they have any need for like medical field?
there is medical stuff here is run by the military.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you guys are military?
So, you have heard, you have seen. So the White House has 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, and 6 levels. There are 412 doors, 147 windows, 28 fireplaces, 8 staircases, and 3 elevators. It sits at 600 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest in Washington, D.C. The building is made of Aqua Creek sandstone painted white. That's why it got its name. Construction began in 1792, and the first president to live there was John Adams in 1800. Do you know there was a fire in 1812 during the War of 1812? That's the Independence War. The British set the fire on White House. Only the outer walls survived, and even those had to be rebuilt. President James Madison and his wife Dolly, who were president at that time, escaped with important documents and a famous portrait of George Washington before the fire. Probably that's the one you normally see. All right, there's some ghost stories that goes along with the White House. The famous one is Abraham Lincoln ghost. It's the most commonly reported. Winston Churchill refused to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom after seeing a figure by the fireplace. Others claim to hear Andrew Jackson laughing loudly in his old bedroom. That's weird. All right, John Quincy Adams had an alligator in the White House bathtub. These are some of the weird pets that have ever lived in White House. An alligator. Theodore Roosevelt had a small zoo. Dogs, snakes, bear, a badger, and a one-legged rooster. In the wild. Calvin Coolidge's pet raccoon named Rebecca walked around the mansion like a cat. oh my goodness. All right, there's a lot of secret tunnels. Now I want to go very quick to the spy-themed White House facts. All right, listen to this. Every visitor, if you go to the White House, every visitor and employee who enters the White House is assigned a color code, a color-coded badge. Secret Service can tell in seconds if someone is somewhere they shouldn't be. A wrong color code in the wrong hallway is equal to immediate security response. So if you go there, don't start running around, loitering. If you're used to walk anyhow, you cannot do that in the White House. You're gonna be a wrong color in the wrong hallway, and security will be on your back. All right. So, So some more facts is, let's talk about snipers. They're famous snipers. They can hit a target the size of a quarter at 1,000 yards. Their job is surveillance, not just marksmanship. Each sniper is trained to read body language from hundreds of feet away. They rotate positions every few minutes to avoid becoming predictable. So you will never make it if you want to plan anything in the White House.
Lincoln Memorial. And then that way is the water that you see when they do the inaugurations.
So inauguration, the people are on that side, right? Or this side?
This side, yeah.
This side?
Yeah.
So there are 500 to 1 million visitors who come to see Washington Monument every single year. All right, so some of the funny facts or some of the true facts about the Washington Monument. All right, it is 555 feet, which is 169 meters. It was finished in 1888, and it was the tallest tallest monument at that time. That was before Eiffel Tower was finished in 1889, and it lost its first place as the tallest monument. All right. It's made entirely of marble, granite, and bluestone, and there's no steel frame holding it up. All right. Also, one of the funny facts, it's the United States ran out of money during construction in 1854, so it stayed unfinished for 22 years. When the work resumed, the marble came from a different quarry, creating a visible color line. So if you come close to it, you'll see it has two different colors. From halfway bottom, halfway top, it has two different colors. That's the reason. So it took about 36 years to build. It began in 1848. It stopped because of politics and money. Completed in 1884, officially opened in 1889. The very top is aluminium, which was once more valuable than silver. So in 1884, aluminium was extremely rare, and it was the most expensive than silver. Right, the top used to be a small tourist room. Nowadays, you can't access the top because of safety issues. It's slightly off center. The monument isn't perfectly aligned with the White House due to swampy land and early engineering limits. Right, so if you stand at the south lawn, it looks visually off to one side, which is intentional. All right. Now, how many times does lightning hit the monument? So, it's hit 400 to 600 times per year by the lightning, right? But don't you worry about it when it's raining or when there's a lot of lightnings. And lightnings in the United States are not joking, can kill you instantly. So hidden lightning rods in the aluminum tip disperse electricity. The whole monument is basically a giant conductor, so you are safe. So in 2011, an earthquake cracked it. So there were no visitors for 3 years for massive repairs. It was a 5.8 magnitude quake in Virginia, damaged the top stones. All right, there are 193 memorial stones inside the walls, gifts from states, cities, countries, and organizations. Examples are Japan, Brazil, Cherokee Nation, the Vatican, so much stuff. All right. If you come here, it's a beautiful scene. You have never seen something like this. It's so cool. Being around here, it is one of the best places you can run, you can walk, you can picnic, you can it's more than you see on your screen right now. All right. So, spy facts about the monument. The monument is a major sighting point for Secret Service and snipers because of its height. There are hidden cameras and vibration sensors inside to detect tampering. The interior staircase is closed partly due to high security monitoring zones. Cell signals behave strangely inside because the stone creates natural dead zones. All right. So if you're inside there and your phone start behaving crazy, don't worry about it. Yeah, someone is watching you doing some weird stuff, even with your phone. Yeah, I told you everything in Washington D.C. is watched closely. Don't bring your drama, your crazy drama, here in Washington D.C. Probably somebody is watching all your movements. You think you're alone? You're not alone in Washington D.C. Right? It goes without saying. All right, so so let's hear some of the stuff during its construction. When it was first built, a lot of critics hated the design. You can tell. They said it looked like a giant toothpick, a stick, a giant pencil, or a grand oversized chimney. Which is actually, thinking about it, actually looks like a chimney. It actually looks like a giant oversized chimney. That is actually, it actually looks like a pencil. It also looked like a giant toothpick. These people are right. The critics were right. It still looks like that even today. I wonder what they would have wanted to see instead of what it is today. All the park you see around the Washington Monument, all the way to the Lincoln Memorial, that is the building you see all the way to the end, the white building, that is where Lincoln Memorial is. And where you see the pool, the entire place from the Capitol all the way to that Lincoln Memorial is called the National Mall. The National Mall is the heart of the nation's capital. It serves several roles. It is a home to many of the most important memorials and museums, a place to learn about, commemorate, and celebrate the nation's cultural heritage, a location to exercise First Amendment rights and gather for presidential inaugurations, and a park where people walk, run, and play. When I visit war memorials, there's certain feelings that you can't help, but you start thinking about the people who once walked in this nation and in this world as we walk. But they were met with a time whereby they had to sacrifice their lives. They were asked to sacrifice their lives. And as they joined the forces, they believed into what was fought for. We even today believe that they died for a good cause. It's why young men and women who had dreams, who wanted to have families, who wanted to live in a free nation, in a free world, a free country. And at that time, they were at the age whereby they were the ones sacrificed to fight for the freedoms that today me and you enjoy. This war memorial right here represents such people, such young men and women, even old men and women, older, that died. They left the boundaries of their own nation to go to foreign lands with a rifle. And what were they fighting for? They were fighting tyranny. They were fighting so that we can have a world that is a bit more free than it was then. That the world that we live today is as a result of what these young men and women fought for. The boundaries, the territories you see around nations, the First World War, the Second World War, and the Vietnam War, and the Korean War. All these wars, they framed the world the way you see it today. The territories, the entire Europe and the maps. Even if you go all the way back and you look at the people who fought for the revolution, for the independence of nations, look at colonialism, look at how the British had conquered the entire world by colonialism. And that changed the entire world the way it looks today. Because after people are fighting, and people say independence, but actually independence to do what? To live free. It's from the word free that the word freedom comes from. That we were all created free to live free, and to live like that, we have always to defend that freedom. And the irony of it all is that human beings are the enemies of freedom. Human beings want to be free, but they are also the enemies of freedom. That's the irony of it. We do not fight freedom from animals or from objects or from aliens, but we fight freedom from our fellow human beings. And we even sacrifice our lives when we are doing that. This war memorial you see here, it is over 1 million people that lost their lives while claiming freedom from other fellow men. The First, the Second World Wars. It's all about freedom and suppressing tyranny. But with that comes bloodshed. Even today, if you look at the entire world today, look at the war between Russia and Ukraine. It's all the fears of freedom. It's all the fears of its territorial wars. But deep down, someone is trying to fight for their freedom, to be able to walk free. For a human being to live free in this world, we'll always fight for that freedom. Look at African countries right now, the uprising with the young people, the Gen Zs. They're not fighting for something else. They're fighting to live free. Freedom from oppression, whether it's economic, whether it's the nature of human beings to live free. All these things are to fight oppression, tyranny, from the enemies of it. Wherever you see bloodshed and people are willing to die, it is always freedom. Someone is looking for independence from another fellow human being who have decided to become an enemy of freedom. You've had freedom of speech, and all of them, there's a price. The price of freedom. And it's always to be defended. Freedom can never be put in a fridge because it will freeze and it will disappear. But it's every single time, every generation have to fight for their own freedoms, whether it's their troops, whether it's them themselves. And as you can see, the Declaration of Freedom or a nation is simply all sovereign power belongs to the people, and they can exercise it either by representation, which is indirect or directly, because we are not here to be ruled by one man, to be controlled by a small entity that does not represent us. That's why we have governments, and all these war memorials are all about that. And what you see here in this National Mall, there are several memorials. There's a First World War memorial. There's a Second World War memorial. There's a Vietnam War memorial. There is a Korean War memorial. All these are fights of freedom from haters, of freedom from oppressors, tyrannical and despotic leaders who wanted to control the world and form systems of government where freedom of speech, where free human beings were supposed to be silenced, where freedom was supposed to be silenced. But these men and women were asked to sacrifice their lives to make human free. Much. It's far. I can't get to the end running. I started over that way. I thought I would finish the entire. I could have. I think I could have. I ran pretty well, but I wasn't ready for running today. So I kind of stopped there. Yeah. Oof. Oof. Man, I wish I lived anywhere close, even like 30 minutes or 1 hour. I'd be running here every single day. And you can like see this pool is a big rectangle, and you can actually run all around it. And I think one round is probably a mile. Oh my god, it's so nice to run around here, especially in the morning. Ooh, this is so good. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna run all the way to here. This is where I want to go. Here, yeah. Now you can. Belgium. So nice. Alright, so this is the other end of it, and I think you see there on top is where presidents would give a speech to the entire America, because I think the entire America can fit here. Oh my goodness. I don't know, I think this is where, not here though, not here, I think it's somewhere here. It's where they would give a check online and tell me, is it here or is it, I think it makes sense it's here. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln did not go to formal school? He had less than 1 year of classroom schooling, yet he became one of the most eloquent and impactful presidents through self-education. He read everything he could get his hands on. Did you also know that Lincoln was the tallest US president? He stood at 6 feet and 4 inches, making him the tallest president in American history. He kept important papers inside his hat. That was where he kept top secret information. Lincoln often stored letters, drafts, and notes inside his iconic stovepipe hat, basically his version of a briefcase, or simply top secret safe. That's where all you needed is to just knock the guy down and access the top secret information from his stovepipe hat. He lost many elections before becoming president. Lincoln failed multiple political races, including the US Senate, and he never gave up. He created the Secret Service on the day he was assassinated. Strangely and very ironic, Lincoln signed legislation creating the Secret Service on April 14 of 1865, the very same day he was shot at Ford's Theater. He loved telling jokes. People say that was his way of coping. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. Lincoln declared enslaved people in Confederate territories free, an act that changed the course of American history. He was the first president with a beard. He grew it after an 11-year-old girl wrote him a letter suggesting he'd look better with one. And he listened. The power of women. He was a skilled wrestler. He lost 1 out of 300 wrestling matches as a young man, earning a reputation as a champion. He survived childhood hardships. His mother died when he was 9. And guess who established Thanksgiving as a national holiday? Abraham Lincoln in 1863. He identified that day as the national holiday to help unify a divided nation. His Gettysburg Address was only 272 words, yet it is considered one of the most powerful speeches in history, proving that impact doesn't require length. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Abraham Lincoln.
Sunshine, sunshine. I think I found it now. What I've been looking for. Isn't it beautiful? It's got my head